Hey there, all you cool, epic, and awesome fans, followers, and listeners. Welcome to episode 62 of the Cool, Epic, Awesome podcast. My name is Matt, and I'll be your co host today.
And I'm the other co-host, Joe.
And on episode 62 today, we kind of have a light film list going on here. We have Moana 2, which was pretty disappointing, I would
Yeah.
say. We also got to see the low budget film Werewolves, which was fun, but again, nothing too big. And
Yeah, it's
then
cool. Describe it.
we also are going to discuss the film The Holdovers, which Joe recommended on the last episode. Great film.
Yeah.
Glad we got to rewatch it. Our
Oh,
list
yeah.
for this week is top 10 Christmas movies, because for those of you who don't know, or if you're listening later, this is currently December 8th, I believe. So
Yes. Yeah.
we're getting into the midst of Christmas season. So that'll be a fun thing to do. I honestly struggled making that list a little bit,
Yeah. I'm not a
but
big Christmas guy, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I love Christmas, but a lot of like the classic Christmas movies I haven't seen. When I was going to make my list, I was like, wait, I actually haven't seen these. But
Yeah.
anyways, we'll get to it when we get to it. We got a couple movie news things to talk about.
Yeah.
Interesting casting choices for Harry Potter series we'll get into.
Yeah.
And yeah, a couple other
Yeah.
things. But I guess to start things off, we could go ahead
We'll
and
talk about Moana too.
talk about Moana 2. Do you want to read the
Yeah.
synopsis for that, Joe?
I got it pulled up. Okay. So Moana 2. After receiving an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors, Moana's journey alongside Maui and a new crew to the far seas of Oceania and into dangerous, long lost waters for an adventure unlike anything she's ever faced. So this originally was a Disney Plus 3 episode special. Which
3? I thought it was like a 6 episode.
no, I think it was 3.
Okay.
I could be wrong though. So
No,
anyway,
I don't know. Go ahead.
that when Bob Iger, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
When he took over Disney again, he decided to release it in theaters, which is on his part like smart money wise. But you know, if you take 3 episodes and kind of push it together, that doesn't automatically make a good movie. And I feel like that's kind of the biggest issue with this thing. I just feel like it's very, I don't know, it feels very rushed. I mean, the animation's great, but the story just isn't really there for me. The songs aren't that good. Characters are kind of forgettable, honestly. I don't know if you wanna.
Yeah. I also wasn't a big fan of it. Just to preface, though, I wasn't the biggest fan of the original Moana. I think it's a bit overrated.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
fine for what it is, but I think that the hype that it gets and the amount of people that love Moana, like I thought it was going to be insanely gas, but it wasn't. It was just like fine.
I feel like people
So
just like the aesthetic of Hawaii and like the kind of Polynesian culture.
that could be it. But the one thing I'll say though is Moana 1 has really good songs. The music's really good. It was done by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who's known for Hamilton, and
And
he does a lot of the music for the
I think
good
he did
Disney movies.
I think he's doing the new Lion King too.
Yeah, he is. But he didn't work on this because, like Joe mentioned, it was originally for a TV special. So they probably were just like, fuck it. Let's just get
Yeah,
a random
it feels
person to do it.
very Disney direct to DVD sequel, which I don't know if those listening are old enough to even know what that is, but
like Lion King 1.5.
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So before there was all Disney Plus and everything, they used to. This was like the famous thing Disney did was that they would make a follow up sequel, but they would just release it straight to DVD. They did it with like everything, like The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Literally every single movie you could think of with Disney, there's probably a direct to DVD sequel. So, I mean, smart on Iger's part for releasing this because it's made like what? I think it's already at like 450
I
million or
think
something
more.
crazy.
I think it might be at like 650 already.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's always good to see like people going to the movies and stuff like that.
But it gives Disney the wrong message. That's the problem. Because
I mean,
this is literal proof that you can shit out anything as long as it has a popular IP name on it and people are gonna go see it.
Yeah, I
It
feel like
it,
it's
like,
too.
broke records
Yeah,
for viewership, and it sucks. It doesn't at any point feel like a movie.
but I
Like, it
mean, to be fair, it's all. I'm not really expecting anything amazing from. I mean, we saw the first one. Is it that much worse than the first one? Not really.
I mean, it's not significantly
It's
worse.
like pretty on par with the first one, I'd say.
I think no, I mean, I wouldn't say it's on par. I think there's definitely a drop off.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
songs, just the songs
No, the
itself,
songs. Yeah, you're right.
the songs
Because
suck.
honestly, I don't
There's
even remember. Like what the best song is. What that one she sings.
I like
Uh,
the song Beyond, that one
yeah,
was
that's it.
good.
That's the one that I liked. But
Besides
other than
that,
that,
Maui's song sucks.
yeah,
He had a great song in the first one,
first
"You're
one, yeah.
Welcome," that's a great song.
Which for you to praise The Rock is pretty.
Yeah. This, I think, is The Rock's best role, I would say.
Honestly, you're not. It's not like a. He makes a pretty compelling case, dude.
It's probably his best. Moana might be his best movie,
That
or
he's
one of the
in.
Fast and Furious movies.
Nah, he's got to be in. Let me see.
Go ahead, look at his filmography. He's not in, like, any good movies.
Mm, Let me
What
see. Damn,
and
dude. Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
It's just, like, his and I'm a Rock hater just for the fact that, like, I'm sure he's a nice person. I don't wanna hate on I don't know. I feel weird hating on anyone, but just the way
Nah,
that
like he seems
people
like a.
he's like the most like, he's like the biggest face in Hollywood, and everyone
Yeah.
loves him and all this, but he's, like, never been in a good movie. It's
No.
just really
Well,
weird. That kinda
honestly,
bothers me.
his biggest chance is probably the Smashing Machine.
Yeah. Or live action Moana.
Yeah, but that's not really like I don't know.
It could be good. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, they're taking a movie
Um,
that's like 100% animated and making it like 75% animated.
yeah.
So it's yeah, I don't know. Those
But the
piss
thing
me
is,
off.
I felt like in this movie, there's no real cohesive plot, like, in the same way that there is in the first.
Yeah, because it doesn't
There
it feels like string like literally like cut and paste. Like you can tell when the episodes end and when they begin. Like it's at least I could tell.
there is the overarching thing of, okay, Moana has
Connecting the
to
people.
find these people, but there's these other kinda sub-stories that don't really get developed enough,
Yeah.
and it
I
just
know
feels, like, strange. It
I
just
know
feels really strange.
one of the directors, I think the guy Derek G. Oh wait, no, I could be wrong because there's multiple directors on this. One of them said like in the series the other side characters because there's a bunch of them. There's like I think she has like three crewmates in this that
Mhm.
join them and they're like fleshed out more and stuff like that. So you kind of learn more about them. So they just kind of don't because like Moana just brings them on kind of for I don't know really no reason because they show that they have no idea how to sail or do anything like that.
Yeah, I coulda sworn there was one part where Moana's, like, talking to I forget who she's talking to, she might be singing, and she refers to that farmer guy, she just c is like she calls him Farmer. She doesn't even say his name, like, did he even have a name? I think you
Probably.
I swear there was one part where she just refers to him as Farmer, in a context where she should have said his name. It was really weird. Um, but yeah, one of the subplots is this villain that's kinda like a bat kinda girl. I thought she was cool. I think she
Yeah.
would've worked better as a main villain than what we got.
I kind of yeah, like I it was kind of the way they set it up. It seemed like she like wanted them to succeed because if the what they were trying to do would set her free, but then they just never follow up on it. So it's kind of I
Well,
guess maybe they can make her the villain because I'm assuming they're going to do
there's
a
a
third one
post-credit
now.
scene. There's a
Oh, there
post-credit
is.
scene.
Oh, I
I
didn't.
don't know
Oh,
if you stayed for it.
nah. I mean, I'm not.
I did.
Oh, yeah. I know you're a big
So
rock guy, so.
so the post-credit scene alright, so wait, before I even get to that, we'll
Wait,
talk about,
Tom,
like,
why the fuck does Moana 2 have a post credit scene?
it teases what's to come. But dude,
What's
the
coming?
villain of this movie is probably the worst and might be the
What
worst
is
in
it? It's
any.
just like the storm god or whatever the fuck. I don't even know.
Yeah, the villain in this might be the worst Disney villain ever. It's just a cloud. That's
Yeah,
why
it's
when
just
this
yeah.
did you see I tweeted a picture of Moana 2 and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer,
Yes, you did
and I was
actually.
like, "These movies have something very strange in common," and it's the fact that the villain is just a giant
Giant
cloud at the
cloud.
end. just so weird. Like,
Weird,
it's a
yeah.
Disney movie. You're supposed to have these stylized
Yeah,
villains,
and it's
and
an animated movie too. Like you should take advantage of this, like being more stylized.
but
I
the
don't know.
weirdest thing is the post-credit scene is that cloud villain, but he gets a human form. It shows the character,
Oh,
and
really?
he
What is?
and he's talking to the Batgirl, and he's like, "Oh, this is just beginning. Like, this isn't over yet," or some shit, like teasing it. But why do you reveal your villain in the post-credit scene? Like, what he looks like? Doesn't just
Because it
very
was they probably, well, not probably, because this was originally a TV show that wasn't intended to be released. They just kind of like Frankensteined it together and just tried to make sense. I don't know. I feel like there's multiple cuts in the movie too that like where something's happening and then they have like a really weird cut to something else. It
yeah.
was really poorly edited, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I honestly don't think it's to the fault of the editor because
No, no, I think it's just
they had to make do with what they
what they
had,
had.
which
Yeah.
which was a 3-episode series, and they're Disney said, "Okay, make a movie out of this." You know? They did what they
Hmm.
could, but it's clear what it was intended to be.
But
I also think another issue I had was that it took too long for Moana and Maui to interact.
yeah, I agree
That
with
didn't
that too.
happen until,
Until
like,
the
over
third
a
act,
half.
right?
Yeah. And when they do, they don't really get that much time together. I woulda liked to see them interacting from an earlier point in the film.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, were you gonna say something?
Um. I mean, as much as I would complain about the movie, I do think the performance of I'm gonna butcher her name, Aluli Caraval. I don't know.
Let me
The woman
try
who
it.
plays Moana, Aluli
A Louis Cravalho, maybe? Something like
Cavallo.
that? Something like that.
I think she's great in it. And I didn't even
Yeah,
realize
sh
she was in Mean Girls. I didn't even know that
yeah,
show.
yeah, she's like the goth girl, I guess, quote,
Yeah.
unquote.
Oh,
But,
they already have Moana 3 on Letterboxd.
yeah, I'm sure it's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um, but, yeah, I actually here's the funny thing is, and going into her performance a little bit, I actually like Moana as a character. I feel like she's a good character, and
Yeah.
it's a good example of a strong, independent
And
woman main character.
okay,
I
yeah.
like Moana. She's
No,
cool,
yeah, she's cool. Yeah.
but just the movie just isn't good at all.
Yeah.
I don't
I mean,
know.
like maybe in the third one because it'll be planned as a movie from the beginning. I mean, I feel like story wise, it'll definitely be better because one, at least they have something. All right, that Batwoman and I guess the God are going to be the villain in the third one, but they could write it as a movie. It won't just be like this a TV show that they just made into a movie. That makes
Yeah.
sense, you know.
What
But
did you like how? Because I actually kinda like this,
well,
they make Moana into kinda
yes, yeah, I
demigod,
thought
I
that was
think.
really cool. Yeah,
I actually like that a
and she
lot.
gets like kind of her version of the hook. It's like the oar.
Yeah, yeah,
I thought that was really
exactly.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, probably just another way to sell toys, but
yeah.
I
No,
I
so
like that
she
they
is a
did that.
demigod, right? Like that's what I
I
was right. That's what I
I think.
assumed.
I'm pretty sure she is now.
Yeah.
Alright, so you had a favorite scene?
Yeah, honestly, my favorite scene is at the end when she kind of becomes the demigod, I guess, and gets the tattoos and gets the ore. I thought that was really cool. And they kind of play the song. She sings the song Beyond again, right? At the end?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
Yeah.
My favorite scene was actually when they go into the belly of that clam. And I really like the coconut people. I liked them a lot in the first movie, and I like them in this. It's just kinda something silly and just,
Yeah. Kind of little
like
world building type
yeah,
of,
these little
yeah.
coconut guys that throw darts at you and stuff. There's the scene, though, where they're sorta getting sucked down, and the one coconut guy looks at the rest of his guys and gives them a salute and just cuts the rope, like sacrificing himself.
Yeah.
I thought that was very funny, and yeah, I don't know, that scene just stuck with
Yeah.
me for some reason, but
Yeah. Favorite character?
favorite character is Moana. I
Yeah.
mentioned before that I like her a lot.
It's pretty. I mean, I feel like the only characters that really flesh out are Moana and then Maui. Like, all the side characters don't really have any. Do you know anything besides one's a farmer, one builds ships, and then the other guy what makes rugs? I think
He loves Maui.
he
That's
loves
kinda
Maui.
his
Yeah,
that's, like, his personality, I guess. But, yeah,
but
there's not really enough characters
again,
behind
not
it.
not to not the fault of the directors, because I'm sure if this is a 3-hour movie or whatever, there would be more kind of backstory, I guess, to the side characters, but not in this.
Yeah. Um, all right. I don't know if you got anything else you want to talk about, or if we could just get to
Nah,
ratings for
nah,
this.
we get the ratings.
All right. I guess I'll go first. So Moana 2, I gave a 2.5 star, 5 out of 10. For reference, I gave the first one a 3 star, so I think this is slightly worse overall. But just for what it is, there's no good music, and that's kind of what you're going into, what you're expecting going into one of these things.
Yeah,
There's got to be some good songs. There's only the song Beyond, and besides that, there's really nothing. You could tell this was stitched together from a series, and I feel like that's going to be most people's main issue with it, especially knowing that going in, it makes the experience a lot worse. Just
yeah,
not a cohesive enough plot, and it just never felt like a movie at any point. It's very strange.
yeah. Honestly, it's a really good way to put it. Did not feel like a movie. Um, I gave it a 2.5, so 5 out of 10. And like Matt said, for reference, I gave the first one a 3. So it's not so much worse than the first, but it just feels very lazy and low. Like, I don't want to say low quality, but low effort, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, the animation looks great. That's like a positive.
Yeah, I had no issues with that.
Yeah,
But all right,
but yeah.
let's move on now. So the next film, which is shifting tone entirely, we saw the movie Werewolves, directed by Stephen C. Miller, and apparently it's fully self-funded, which is pretty cool.
Oh, really? I
Um,
didn't know that.
yeah, I saw something on Twitter. I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is.
I mean, it didn't look like it had any big like kind of.
I mean, Frank Grillo's obviously big,
No, no, I
but
meant like studios with it. But yeah, no.
yeah, I don't. Let me check the studios actually. Now that you say it, the studios are The Solution, Pimienta, and Monty the Dog Productions.
Well, I'm sure
So
one of them is the director's like producing company.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
but
But anyways, let me read the little synopsis we got here. So, a year after a supermoon's light activated a dormant gene, transforming humans into bloodthirsty werewolves and causing nearly 1 billion deaths, the nightmare resurfaces as the supermoon rises again. Two scientists attempt to stop the mutation but fail, leaving those exposed to the moonlight to once again become feral werewolves. Chaos engulfs the streets as the scientists struggle to reach one of their family's homes, now under siege by the savage creatures. So I like this movie overall.
yeah,
It's not anything amazing. You could tell it's made on a low budget, but I think the premise is just very silly, and I like that. It kind of gets right into it when the movie starts. They're like, "Oh, there's this crazy supermoon that just randomly turns people into werewolves."
yeah,
I kind of just I don't know. I like how stupid
yeah. I
it
like
is.
that they don't give like the right from the get go. They kind of let you know what's going on. They don't. There's no fluff. It's just straight to all right. This is how it is. You know.
Yeah, but that kind of goes into what I didn't like about it is that I felt at times it was almost too serious. It was asking me to care a lot about these characters and take it seriously. And there's these emotional moments, and I just like didn't care.
Yeah.
I wanted
Fair.
it to be fully goofy all around and more almost satirical, um, which it wasn't at points.
I feel like honestly they could have cut that whole side plot with his like sister-in-law and the niece.
I mean, that's kind of like pushing the narrative though, because that's where he's going the whole time. He's
No, I don't think he was because he's supposed to just stay and do the experiment. Remember, because he says
yeah,
he's not coming back.
but after it fails, like
Yeah, yeah,
when they're driving away, they're driving towards the sister's or not
yeah.
sister, but sister-in-law's house. So, um, but it was fun, and the werewolves look
Look
sick.
great. Yeah,
It was it wasn't 100% practical. There were some noticeable CGI shots, especially with the transformations, but they didn't look bad, I don't
yeah.
think.
I thought it was a good balance, honestly.
Yeah, because
Um,
also they're not just practical werewolves; they look fucking awesome.
awesome.
They look
Yeah,
really, really
and they
cool.
moved around pretty well too. Like it looked
Yeah,
like was it an animatronic or it's a guy in a suit?
I think probably a mix of both. There were
Yeah.
some points where you can sort of see the jaw moving in a way that must have been an animatronic.
Yeah.
Like the lip would pull itself down
Like
from
the
the
yeah.
teeth, stuff like that. But
Like
also,
there's
there's sorry, I keep cutting you off, but
no, you're good.
there's also parts where it's clearly someone there, like
Yeah.
in a suit.
Yeah.
So
One thing I didn't like though, and obviously this is because of the budget, I feel. A lot of the scenes with the werewolves, there was a lot of like strobe light or like it was extremely dark. Because these things look cool, but like I feel like they don't really aren't putting the light a lot in the movie. Probably because they want to hide the effects, but you're there. We're there for that. I kind of like. I know it's gonna look a little goofy. That's kind of the point,
yeah, I
you know.
agree. What did you think about? Especially, I noticed this at the beginning. There's sort of like a weird lens flare throughout the movie. That the light was just like that effect when you're in a car and you see like a stoplight and there's like lines coming on
Glare,
either
yeah,
side. Yeah, that was like in the movie a lot, and I didn't know if it was on purpose, but it would be like an entire shot getting covered up by that light. I was like, what
yeah.
the fuck? I don't know. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but it was just something I
Gotcha.
noticed.
Um,
Definitely
what
a
was I gonna
nitpick.
say? I didn't like also that like uh they had those weird kind of Iron Man things with the
The
suits that they
hazmat
wear.
suits.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah, because on the outside, you see them put on these hazmat suits that are sort of flimsy looking, and then it cuts to their face in like an Iron Man tech kind of thing. It was probably unnecessary.
Yeah,
I don't, you know, you could pretty much get the gist of what's going on without that. But that testing area scene, I gotta say, if you had epilepsy watching that, you actually might have died.
yeah, bro. I was gonna say that scene was nuts, man. Like I thought it was gonna let up after a while. It was straight like 20 minutes of just strobe lights.
Yeah, it was a lot for me. It
Yeah,
made me like
want to look at my
nauseous
phone for a little. Yeah,
almost. Yeah, I was like, "Holy shit."
yeah,
It was an insane amount of strobing, and yeah,
yeah.
just unnecessary.
And
I
it's like,
like
why?
that.
What are you trying to hide? Like the werewolves look awesome. Like, don't hide the design.
Yeah, I did like that scene, but it also kinda doesn't make sense that any of that happens because you would like, obviously, they're doing this test that, okay, if all goes well, these people won't turn into werewolves, but why were they not prepared for if they do? Because there's obviously a clear chance that they would turn into werewolves, but they just seemed so unprepared for that to happen,
Yeah, it's
and
like
they all just
very
break out.
because it's like, oh, the what is it? Oh, the roof got like stuck or something like that. That's what happened. They said, and that's
But
why. Like they're trying to close the roof at one point, and then one of the werewolves like freaking out, throws something, and it like breaks an electrical. It's very like
yeah, which
you
I
know,
mean, for the sake of the movie, yeah, it is what it is.
sure, whatever.
I don't
Yeah,
really care. Um, but yeah, just again, a little nitpick. Another thing I like about the werewolves was that certain werewolves, when they transformed, would keep some of
the clothes.
the qualities of the person they transformed from. Like for instance, that guy next door that was super like gun heavy and he was wearing the wolf killer vest that
Yeah,
stayed on the werewolf. There was also like the biker werewolf. I don't know if you remember that. He had
yeah.
earrings and like a leather jacket. I thought that was funny.
No, it was cool.
That type of stuff I really liked.
I mean, werewolves felt kind of. I don't want to say unique, but it's definitely not. It's not straight up traditional design, but it feels different enough that it stands out on its own.
Yeah.
It has like the
Like
long kind of
if you look at this werewolf, you can tell what movie it's from
yeah.
right away.
But
What did you think was up with that creature that was like the kid? Remember that?
oh,
What the fuck was that?
uh
Was that supposed to be a baby werewolf?
that's what I think. There was like a lot of
Its face looks like a
there's a lot of really good horror stuff in this film, but there's also a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense. You could tell it's clearly like a passion project. Like there's not a lot of funding in it. Um,
yeah, it
like
was
I feel like
made
you,
for the sole purpose of showing off these werewolf
yeah,
designs.
yeah,
The rest is kinda just fluff to fill in the gaps.
I agree.
Uh,
I low-key forgot that Frank Grillo's character was a scientist, and I just assumed he was some type of military position. And I was like, why the fuck is he in this lab? I was like, what is he doing here?
I think he
Because he
was
just
full.
normally plays like you know,
Yeah,
GI
a
Joe type of.
and he's insanely jacked too.
Yeah, dude. Like I don't know.
Scientists don't have time to work out like that.
Yeah, dude. He's supposed to be a nerd. Get him a fucking lab coat. Don't need show him putting nails and pieces of wood outside his home. But yeah.
Yo, so the doctor that he's with the whole time, the girl,
Yeah.
her death scene was so weird.
Yeah, she just
Do you
gets
remember that?
like, yeah, she just
She's,
kind of
like,
gets,
getting in the car and then just doesn't get in and, like, smiles at him and just gets grabbed from above, and that's it. That's the last you see of her
and then
character.
like he doesn't even hesitate and just drives away. It's like, damn, dude,
It was just weird.
very
She
strange.
coulda
Yeah,
she coulda walked into the car. Why'd she give him that smile?
yeah.
Like,
I
did she
thought
know? I don't
I was
know.
like waiting for like something else to happen. Like he was gonna go after her or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I was gonna
But
ask how so when they turn into werewolves, like, how much of their human side do you think they retain? Did it
I'm
imply, like, anything really?
uh, I mean, I don't know. I guess at the end, kind of when so spoilers. At the end, I feel like honestly, there's no point to this happening. Like he didn't have to do this, but it just kind of it's like the rule of cool thing.
Yeah.
Uh, there's one last like werewolf left, and instead of trying to kill it, he kind of turns into a werewolf and kills it. And it makes for a really cool scene. He rips off the other werewolf's head.
Yeah, that was sick.
But um, that's a prime rule of cool. Didn't really
Yeah.
make sense, but like fuck it, that was a cool scene.
Yeah. Also, when he transforms back into human form, it doesn't even show it.
Yeah,
He just is like a human, and the other people that had previously transformed kinda had scarring all over their body, like their face and rib cage was all messed up.
I
Remember
think
at the
it's
beginning?
I think it's because like
But when he
they
came
were bit.
back, he didn't have any of that.
I'm assuming that was because they were like bit or like attacked
I
by
don't think
werewolves.
so. I don't it seemed
That's
kinda
what I
like
thought, honestly, but I could be wrong.
it seemed
Is that
sorta like
they
stretch
transform?
marks or something,
Yeah,
and he just when he turns back, he's just, like, sweating and, like,
jacked.
insanely jacked, so
They have
vascular,
like
and
that
it's
like 10-second shot of just his abs. There's also the camera work was pretty decent in this too. There's a
yeah,
lot of cool.
I didn't have any complaints with the
Yeah,
camera work. I thought it was pretty good.
yeah, like for a low budget horror, they had some interesting kind of shots. But do you have a favorite scene?
Favorite scene, I think I'll have to say the last fight. It was just really cool. Just
Yeah,
werewolf versus werewolf.
wolf on wolf.
Yeah, the wolf on wolf violence was awesome. And that was the first kind of wolf on wolf we saw the whole movie. It was
Yeah,
mainly people just shooting them.
yeah. I was like wondering if they were gonna start beefing in the streets and stuff, or they were all gonna be in like a pack.
Yeah.
But I'll be a little different. I'll pick the lab scene as my favorite, where they all kind of transform.
I did like that. It's just
Yeah,
the strobe lights was too much for
too
me.
much. Yeah. Not like I'll say like when they first start transforming, like before they lose power. For the most part, the CGI looks good. Is
Yeah.
like the one on the woman looked a little weird, but the other ones look good.
Yeah, I thought the CGI was fine.
Yeah,
I mean, the practical I think looked better,
yeah.
but you
But for
can't
the
really
transformation and stuff, I
yeah.
thought, yeah,
You can't really do the practical transfer. I mean, you can. American Werewolf in London did it
yeah.
really well,
But
but I actually like the transformation too, how their veins sort of like turn
turn
purplish and
purple.
stuff.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
both stylized.
Yeah. But
But
yeah, back to what you were saying though before about the sister-in-law.
yeah,
At the beginning, first of all, he's like fortifying this house and is like, "Oh, you're so prepared." And she only has like 10 shotgun shells. Why did she not have more ammo?
yeah. I have no. That's why, like, I don't know.
And
Very
also,
strange.
she wastes like 6 of them just shooting at
Shooting at the
random
walls,
shit.
yeah,
Like,
that
what
was
was she
really weird.
doing? What was she doing
I
there? I
guess they
was
were,
so
like, out
confused
she
by
was
that.
saying, like, they were outside of the wall. She was, like, shooting them through the wall, I guess? I don't know.
Just I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, it's
weird, really weird.
like I feel weird to nitpick that, but why would you put that in? It's like so dumb.
I
But
have
I
no
don't know.
idea.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's strange. I agree.
Do you
But,
have a favorite character in this?
I mean, I guess Frank Grillo's character, he's kinda the only character you really learn about. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked Frank Grillo's
I guess can
character
I
as
pick the
well.
werewolves as the character as my favorite?
Yeah, I guess why not?
Yeah.
We make the rules for this,
Yeah,
so
honestly, yeah, fuck it. I picked the werewolves. They're my favorite part characters in the movie.
I'll still
Specifically
choose
the wolf hunter one. That guy, I actually I thought that was funny, like the kind of that guy.
Yeah, I like
Because
how when he
if that was a
became
real thing, if this is a real thing, like there'd be people like him.
yeah, of course, of
Yeah,
course. It would be the MAGA people like that.
just go out
The,
hunting. I mean,
yeah,
his transformation scene's kind of funny because like they don't even. Someone throws like a fucking
like a fridge through the window.
couch or something, and they don't show the werewolf, and they just show him like start to transform. I forgot about that actually.
Yeah, it doesn't like all of a sudden he's looking out the window and a full fridge just flies through the window, and you could tell, like, you know when they do the stunts and they kinda pull you back really quick,
Yeah,
like, behind the scenes stuff, you
yeah,
could
like the
tell they
wire
did
pull.
that
Yeah,
because if a fridge hit him, he would just get instantly
it's like
crushed,
yeah,
but it made him go flying backwards, and yeah, you're right, it doesn't show how that I guess, like, a werewolf threw a
a
fridge
werewolf
through his
threw
window.
it.
It's
But I don't know. It's just funny to think about.
yeah, but the movie, it was fun though,
No,
you
it
know?
was fun. Yeah, and I honestly hope this does well financially because it's always cool to see. And it's a kind of unique take on a. I never heard of a movie like that. I don't know with Supermoon and it affecting everyone. It was cool take on a
Yeah.
werewolf movie.
There's not a lot of werewolf films. I'm
Yeah,
trying to think of the last I mean, we're getting the Wolfman
the
soon,
Wolfman. Yeah.
but
Um.
there's not too many,
Yeah.
so
No.
definitely was cool,
Yeah. But
but,
do you want to
uh,
ratings?
yeah, let me see because I took some notes because my theater was completely empty, so I was able to, like, do commit a
So
sin and pull my phone out
yeah.
during the movie just to take notes. So, yeah, there was one thing that was it's another nitpick, but when they're underneath the car in the street, like, can the werewolves not smell them? I feel like don't they have, like, an insane sense of smell or something? How do they not realize they're there? Nitpick, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Also, what was the deal with those people that were, I guess they were feeding people to the werewolves? It was like a cult or something?
Oh, they seem just like kind of. I don't think they were a cult. I think it was just like some type of underground like faction of people, I guess, that are living.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really explain that, but
Yeah,
whatever. It's fine.
sure.
Yeah, we can
Also,
get to
one thing
ratings
that kind
though.
of pissed me off:
What?
why are they running around with pistols? Why don't they have like an AR-15 or some bigger?
Yeah.
They're in
I
Florida. Like they got fucking guns all over the place. Why do they have like these little pistols and these giant werewolves?
yeah, it really it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole
that's a
thing with
nitpick, but yeah,
her having, like, 10 shotgun shells, even though she's supposed to be insanely prepared, like, she shot through the wall 5 times, and then she's like,
yeah.
I only have 2 bullets left."
I gotta be careful with the rest of my
Yeah,
ammo. Then proceeds
like
to shoot the ceiling twice.
yeah. Um,
But I mean, it's a
but
nitpick,
yeah, we
whatever.
can get to ratings here. So you
So
go first.
I gave it a 3 stars, so 6 out of 10. There's still a lot of positives here that I like. The werewolves are obviously great. Some of the CGI is great, but story wise, it's like there's some holes. But for what it's what you kind of expect with these type of films.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ended up giving it a 3 star. So, excuse me. Sorry, I almost just choked on ice. 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, yeah. I just swallowed some ice by accident.
Oh,
Um, so anyways, I gave it a 3 star, 6 out of 10. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think that the werewolf designs are really cool, and I love the
yeah.
practical effects. I love what they attempted to make with this. I just feel like they should have went all in on the goofy aspect of it because it
Yeah.
is goofy. It's a super moon. It's fucking,
Yeah.
giant practical werewolves. There are scenes where the movie demands to be taken seriously, which I just don't think really work. Because I don't care about these side characters. I don't care about this guy's sister-in-law and daughter. Like,
Yeah.
I wanna just see werewolf on werewolf violence and just action. But
Wolf
it
on wolf
still is
violence.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It still is fun. And I think if you're into horror and you like practical effects, monsters, all that, I think it's definitely worth checking out. I'm
Yeah.
glad I saw it. So,
Yeah. Um.
alright,
Yeah.
alright, we can move on to
Movie
some
news.
movie news. There isn't much,
Yeah.
to be
It's kind of. I
honest.
feel like it's award season, so Not
Yeah,
really
it's a little bit
much.
slow.
Yeah.
The big thing we could start with is we're getting some casting rumors for HBO's Harry Potter series.
Yeah.
The big one that has the internet on fire is that the British actor, I'm gonna try to pronounce his name. The British actor Papa Esidu, definitely butchered that, is in talks to play Professor Severus Snape.
Oh, he is in talks. I thought it was just they offered him.
That's from The Hollywood Reporter, which
Uh,
is,
pretty
you know,
pretty
pretty
reliable.
reputable. And for those of you who don't know, he is a black actor, which isn't typical for Snape, or at least how he was described in the books, and obviously Alan Rickman played him previously. So, you know, this is obviously gonna be controversial.
Yeah.
At first, I can't lie, I was not the biggest fan of this casting, because I just feel like you look at this guy and you don't think Snape, you know? It just what about him says Snape?
Yeah.
But also, for one, I wasn't in the casting room when he auditioned, so I have no idea. But I am coming around a little bit on this. It's definitely a very non-traditional pick, but I'll give 2 reasons why I
Yeah, I
think
was gonna
it
say,
it
yeah.
could work out. Is 1, Alan Rickman was so good that if you went with any other just white British male, it would just be them doing an interpretation of him and just sort of it would always be compared.
Yeah.
So going with a black actor, it's gonna be so different from Alan Rickman's performance that you could
Yeah.
actually separate it enough, and it won't just feel like them doing an Alan
I feel
Rickman
like they're gonna
impression
have to go
as
for a different type of Snape. I mean, like, obviously, there's probably core things with this character they have to keep, but assuming for most of these characters, they're gonna try to take them in somewhat different directions than the original.
yeah. And
Uh,
the second reason, though, that I don't mind it is that J.K. Rowling is involved with the show, so she had to okay this. She's the creator of Harry Potter, she wrote the book, so if she says that this is okay, then I don't think people should have an issue with it.
yeah, I honestly
So
haven't seen him in anything, so I have no idea. Like, I don't know. I haven't. I honestly have you seen him in anything?
no, I
I
haven't.
think he's like a British
He's known
TV
for yeah,
actor.
some TV role.
He was in the movie Men that we saw a couple years ago.
Yeah. It's just very strange. Are they gonna give him that long hair? And I don't know. Are they just gonna keep him with that because he has short hair right now? Are they just
Yeah,
gonna keep him as he is and call him Snape, put him in robes? I don't know. We'll have to see,
yeah, it'll be
but
interesting.
definitely interesting. We knew there
Uh,
was gonna be some sorta, like, race bending thing happening
yeah,
here. It was bound, and people
yeah,
were gonna get annoyed, but it's Snape.
yeah. I
Like
mean, he's British. He's still a British actor. It's not like they're not
yeah.
casting British.
Yeah, no, he's British, so
Yeah,
as and I think, let me see, there's a couple others.
yeah. So they
So,
have. I have it
go
up.
ahead. Yeah, you can read
Mar.
this guy.
So previously, who's the other actor mentioned for Dumbledore? Because we mentioned one other one.
Yeah, it was Mark Rylance, and apparently he's still in the running too, but
Mark Strong is also running, which I think is another great pick. Sharon Horgan for Minerva McGonagall, right?
yeah,
I'm not really familiar with her, and Brett Goldstein for Hagrid. I know a lot of people love that one. I know he's from what's that soccer show that everybody
Ted
loves?
Lasso.
He knows, yeah, he's from Ted Lasso. He previously played Hercules in the post credit scene for Thor. Um, but I
I
know a
think
lot of people were happy about this one.
yeah, he would be a good Hagrid.
Yeah, he kind of looks like he has like the kind of facial features of Hagrid too, like the bushy eyebrows, the big nose.
Yeah, I think he would be a fine Hagrid.
Yeah.
I think Mark Strong would be a good Dumbledore. I still
I,
think Mark Rylance would be better for
yeah, I
that.
like Rylance better. I think that Rylance is more like a weirdo, which I like.
Yeah. Sharon Horgan for McGonagall. I'm not really too familiar with her. She's the thing I think I mentioned this to you, like,
But
Harry Potter doesn't really have that many
female
great
characters
female
I've seen. Yeah.
characters, like, as many as male, at least, especially with the professors. So, McGonagall kinda is that big female character.
Yeah.
So, that's gonna be an important,
Big important role.
you know, so, I don't know. I don't know enough about her, but yes, it seems like
Yeah.
Snape's the only one that they took kinda such a drastic departure from the original,
Departure.
and I think that makes sense, though, because Alan Rickman was just so good in that role
Yeah.
that it just doesn't make sense to try to replicate it as it was. Like, it makes sense to do something different, but we'll see. None of this is official, by the way, so
Do you think they're gonna cast like Voldemort soon or no?
probably. I'm sure it'll come out because Dumbledore, he's, like, a
Yeah.
huge one, and he's, you know
I think they're eyeing what, 2027 for release, they said?
I mean, if casting is coming out now,
They said they're gonna start filming summer 2025. Like the HBO like Twitter put that out. So
I would say late I honestly feel like Christmas 2026-ish, because
they're
Harry
gonna
Potter
it's
kinda
gonna be
has that.
such a big year for them, dude. They're gonna have Lanterns and this, and then end House of Dragon season 3.
Yeah, it's
Crazy,
gonna be a
dude.
lot, yeah.
Yeah. But
Um,
anyway,
alright, but
we'll move
yeah, go
on.
ahead.
I'll talk about I'm skipping over the one on the Discord. I'll explain why later. But the
Yeah,
next
go
one we'll
ahead.
talk about. So the actor from Nora, Mark
Mark Edelstein.
Edelstein, has been cast as the lead in Mr. and Mrs. Smith season 2. I know me and Matt haven't watched that series, but I know that it's very getting a lot of acclaim, and it's kind of cool to see. This is kind of his first big role after Nora. Interesting. I wonder how they're gonna make his character because he kind of plays like a fucking doofus in Anora. So it'll
Yeah,
be
and if you
interesting.
if you listen to his interviews, he talks and acts exactly how he
Exactly. Like,
does
yeah,
in the
yeah.
movie.
I wonder if
So,
he'll be that same type of character because he's supposed to be the
we'll s
lead.
yeah. I
So
mean, the thing is he had to audition for this, so they clearly saw something that they
yeah,
liked, but
yeah. Well,
yeah,
good for
it's
him. He's mad
yeah.
young too, right? He's like,
Yeah, it's probably like 19 or something,
yeah. But
but
yeah. So the next news, the last bit of news, we got the Invincible season 3 trailer, which looks good. Seems like it's pretty on par with everything else. I mean, all the other seasons. One thing that's kind of been sticking out to me now more than ever is the animation is not good, especially with a lot of the other shows like X-Men '97, and we'll talk about Creature Commandos in a little bit. I just feel like it's with such high grade animation shows, especially superhero animation shows, like it sucks that it's so behind all these other shows, and it's not a money thing. Obviously, Amazon has all the money in the world, so I just don't understand why we're not.
yeah,
But
it
I mean,
is.
maybe it doesn't bother people as much because how do you feel about it, Matt?
I mean, to me, it looks fine. I think it definitely could be better,
Yeah,
but it's not gonna detract me from watching the
yeah, no,
show.
I mean, I'm still gonna watch it. It's just you
But
know
it is strange, especially when they have these sort of promo videos that the
are
animation looks
literally
better.
than the actual show, which is
Yeah,
crazy. But
but the one thing it seems like the season's gonna be very much, at least the beginning, I guess, will be Invincible versus Cecil, which I don't really know if that's, like, a big thing in the
I feel like
comic.
that's kind of like from the end.
What do you mean?
It looks like it's gonna be towards the end of the season.
Well, I don't know if I don't know if this trailer is showing all the way at the end of the season. This could just be sort of what happens in the first half. We
Yeah,
don't
that's
know,
true.
you know?
Oh yeah, because
I
maybe
f
they're splitting it.
Yeah, but that's kind of interesting because it's this insane superpowered guy versus someone with no powers.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm assuming he
but
does something to him to make him fight against. Like there has to be some type of like betrayal or some shit like that.
yeah,
I'm not familiar with the comics, so I don't really know. I know people online were saying it's like a big reveal. Something happens that he does, but I don't know. I have no idea what it is.
yeah, we'll see. I'm kinda glad that I haven't read the books because I get surprised by what
Yeah,
happens. It
I know
also
like bits and pieces of
it's
like what
shown that
happens.
Mark is getting a lot stronger. That's kinda how
Yeah,
the trailer starts. They say, "Oh, he has
he gets
this
the
much
blue suit.
percentage better with this and this much percent better with strength," and all this stuff.
Yeah,
So, yeah, he gets his new suit, which looks really cool. That was sort of getting teased all throughout last season.
yeah. I like the blue. It looks like the dark blue. It's like nice color
Yeah,
contrast.
and his little half brother seems to be getting
Yeah, Omni
a suit.
Boy, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling him.
Yeah. Um,
But
yeah, it seems like it'll be good. February
yeah,
6th. It's
yeah.
coming up. So,
But yeah, that's everything from our movie news.
yeah, before we do our list though, I want to talk about 2
Yeah,
other things. We could talk
yeah,
about Creature Commandos. I haven't seen it yet, so Joe, if you wanna kinda take the
yeah.
reign on this.
I honestly really like it so far. It's pretty on par with like the James Gunn kind of freaks coming together vibe. I'm such like a fucking I love all like the kind of monster stuff. So anytime they have that type of thing, I'm a sucker for that. And it's cool to see like the DC. You actually kind of learn a lot about like I guess the world and like what's going on at the time. There's like a lot connected to Wonder Woman actually, which I kind of didn't expect. But I
Yeah, I
mean,
was gonna
so far it's
I
really
was
good.
I was gonna ask how connected is it to the new DCU and how
Not anything like it's not like a. So in Suicide Squad, I feel like the mission is like life and death. Like it's like such a big deal. This one is less. Like it's still high stakes, but like they literally are like one of the reasons why they're helping this country is because they want their oil. Like it's not such like a life and death scenario. It seems more low stakes. And one thing that's
how is the villain of this so
honestly,
far?
she just pulled up in the second episode, so I haven't really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they just like at the end of the second episode, they tease Frankenstein's monster, so that's gonna be like the probably episode 3. Um, what was I gonna say? The animation's great. That's like another takeaway from it. The fights are fantastic, really cool. Really stylized too, which I like. Feels really like I don't know, unique.
I feel like there's
And
gonna be a lot of surprises in the show because
yeah, I mean they
we
showed
saw
Clayface in the
yeah,
trailer, so I
we
mean
saw
that's kind of.
Clayface, but also in this first episode, they show Superman, they show
So I haven't
Starf
actually seen that
Starfire
scene.
and
Apparently, it's like a trailer at the end of it's like a
uh.
sizzle reel, and it's supposed to be like an alternate future, but it shows like Superman crucified, like Starfire, like on a spike. There's like Peacemaker, but it's just cool that they acknowledge those heroes exist in this world.
Yeah, I
You
really
know?
like that. I like the connectivity stuff.
Yeah, like the world is like already established that they have superheroes already, which is cool. Like it's not like a big surprise. Um, but I don't know. So far I really like it. I feel like it's gonna tie into definitely Peacemaker season 2, just because they mention Frank Grillo's because he's playing what's his character's name?
Rick Flag
Rick Flag
Senior.
Senior, which is Rick Flag. I guess his name's Rick Flag, his father. And he mentions him like a decent amount in the first couple episodes, so I feel like he's probably gonna find out that Peacemaker killed his son and then go after. That's what I'm assuming is gonna happen.
Yeah, that would probably
Uh,
make sense.
But honestly, yeah, I mean, I told you not to watch yet because there's some spoilers from Peacemaker. I mean, that you knew because that's from Suicide Squad, but there's some other stuff with Amanda Waller that But so far, really good.
All right, good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah,
Another thing that I haven't tried yet that you're gonna have to talk about a little is just wanted to discuss this because it's kind of popular, I guess, in
yeah,
our space right now. Is Marvel Rivals got released, which is sort
yeah.
of like the next big Marvel video game. It's like an Overwatch kind of. I don't want to say
Style
clone,
game.
but something to that style.
Yeah,
I know you've been playing it a little, so I was
yeah.
just
I honestly
curious.
really like it. It's a lot of fun, and I like that all the characters are playable from the beginning. Like, there's no paywall for anything. You get like I think it's like 30 characters, something like that.
And the game's free too.
Yeah, it's free. I bought the battle pass. It was like $5. I was like, fuck it, why not? Um, and it's cool too is the battle pass is you complete it at your own pace. So like even if the season ends, you can still complete it, which is nice.
That's
Um,
really cool. I'm sure that's
yeah,
been done before, but it's the first time that I've ever heard of it, and I think that's really cool.
yeah, nah, honestly I like it a lot so far. I'm trying to get my friends to play it because it's free. And
Do you
also
get
I
a
didn't
do,
well
does the battle pass give you characters or is it just skins?
no, it's just skins. I know there's like a bunch of characters that already like kind of leaked online. I know like I saw the thing. I saw Johnny Storm. I
Mr.
saw
Fantastic.
Mr. I didn't see Mr. Fantastic actually.
I saw it. Sue Storm was the only one I think that didn't get leaked.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know they were doing.
I saw someone tweeted about it.
Who are they? I mean, they honestly have a lot of them. I feel like they don't have a lot of the villains. That's like people they have to add.
Yeah. I feel like by the time this is at least a couple years in, it's gonna be huge. It seems
Yeah,
like they have a lot planned, and
yeah. They're probably. Oh, I saw Ultron. The Ultron design is actually really cool. It's like the older kind of skull looking.
Yeah. One thing that I thought was cool I saw online is when you get, for instance, the MCU skins, they'll
Oh,
have an
like the
animation that sort of correlates with their
with it, yeah,
MCU movie or something. So, for
which is
example,
cool.
there's the one of Scarlet Witch from Multiverse of Madness, and her animation is the scene of her coming out through that, like, I don't
Oh,
even know
really?
what
I
that
didn't
thing is.
actually didn't see that. That's
The
cool.
mirror, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
gong thing. And that's,
That's sick. I didn't
I
know
think that's
that.
really cool. Yeah.
Even like I don't know if you saw this, but each so like on when you go on the characters' profiles, each one has like a signature from the character. So like if whatever Captain America's like Steve Rogers, but like little thing like for Moon Knight, there's three signatures because he has the multiple personality. Like little things like that. It's just cool that they pay attention to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Even
Pay
like
attention
character
to the
interactions and
details.
stuff.
You could tell the people who made it really care about
Yeah,
Marvel and the comics and the
yeah,
lore and
and it's
stuff.
fun. It's like the game's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it seems like it's
And
fun.
yeah,
So, I'm
but yeah,
if I have time, I'll try to play it.
yeah,
But all
but
right.
yeah.
Uh so we can move on now. Let's do our list for this week, which is our top 10 Christmas movies. Um I just thought this would be fun cuz we're sort of in the midst of
It's the Christmas season.
Christmas
Yeah.
season right now.
Before everyone comes for me in the comments, I'm not a big Christmas person, so I want to, I'm sure there's going to be movies that I missed on here.
Yeah, and same goes for me. I just want to preface this by saying that the top of my list is not the best, or I guess the bottom of my. Or let me rephrase that. The 10 through like 7 isn't very strong. I'm just gonna say it. Uh, you know, I don't know. I had more trouble than I expected to searching for
Really?
Christmas films, but
I think we used to watch a lot as a kid. There's like a
yeah,
decent amount I left off.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll give my 10 through 6 to start it off.
Okay.
So at number 10, I wanted to include this. I know this will probably get hate, but I have Terrifier 3.
Yeah, I knew you
It
were gonna your little swat. I knew it.
it's a Christmas movie.
No, it is. Yeah, I know it is.
Like
You're right. It is.
the villain, it's a Christmas movie,
It's that
yes.
that's like an evil
But
Santa.
it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's both. I really like it. It was awesome. We had an episode where we talked about it. Great kills, love Art the Clown, and I feel like Christmas is heavily used in the plot of the movie and in some of the kills too. So I don't care. This is a Christmas movie. It counts. Not traditional, but all right.
I agree. I think that's fair.
Number 9, strange one. Like I said, it's weak at the start of this list. I have the Santa Claus 2, the
The two?
the one with Tim Allen. You
No, yeah,
know?
with Jack. Where he plays like Jack Frost. That's the one with Jack Frost, right?
No, that's the third one.
Oh.
But
There's
the
three of
second,
them? What the fuck?
yeah, the second one is where he has to find a Mrs. Claus, or else like he doesn't
Damn.
become Santa any
Yeah.
longer.
I forgot
One
about
that,
that.
yeah, I remember watching this as a kid. I feel like we
No,
had
yeah.
family movie night watching this, and the second one is good, not as good as the first, but it still has all those elements. Definitely very Christmassy movie.
Yeah.
Number 8, I have The Polar Express. This is one that I think I liked a lot more as a kid. I didn't realize until I was older that it's directed by Robert Zemeckis, who obviously did Back to the Future, and he's an insanely famous director.
Yeah.
But always one that I remember watching as a kid, and now looking at it, the animation kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a weird kind of CGI type
Yeah.
of
But
yeah.
just that vibe of the snow and getting on the train and that scene with the hot cocoa, I remember a lot.
The
I
music's
also
really good too.
Yeah, the music's good. I also feel like for some reason I remember watching this in school, like when it would get to around Christmas time, they'd play this
Yeah.
either like in the auditorium or maybe in class. Just a lot of memories when I was younger.
Yeah.
Um, Number 7, I have the original The Santa Claus from 1994. Again, Tim Allen as Santa. It just basically gives this lore that the role of Santa gets passed on to people when Santa dies. It's kind of funny how Santa just kind of falls off his roof and
It
dies,
dies, yeah.
and then he becomes Santa from putting on the coat. Interesting premise. It's a fun movie, and I don't know. I have memories watching this as a kid. So,
Yeah.
all right, number 6, I have the movie Love Actually from 2003. It's one of those rom-coms from back in the day that would have like 8 different love stories going on at the same time, and they were all interconnected in some way, except this one just takes place during
During
Christmas.
Christmas.
There's a lot of famous scenes from it. I specifically remember, Andrew Lincoln being in this and Keira Knightley because 'cause I'm a big Andrew Lincoln fan from The Walking Dead, and this is, like, one of the only movies that he's in, and I also love Keira Knightley, and they kinda have this weird romance. I don't know, it's kinda stalkerish, but
Yeah.
it's a great movie. Also, shout out to Alan Rickman, he's in this as well, and it's one of his only roles that I've seen that's not Snape, and don't hate on me, I've not seen Die Hard, it's one of my movie sins, but I know he plays a great villain in that apparently. Um, that also apparently is a Christmas movie, but I guess
Yeah.
I'll see when I watch it one day. So, all right,
Yeah.
that's 10 through 6.
All right. So for me, for 10, I had. I don't know if you've even seen this, Matt. March of the Wooden Soldiers. I think it came out in like 1938. It's one of the first Christmas movies I've ever seen. Um,
I have like
it's just
vague
like,
memories of it.
yeah, you've probably seen it, but yeah. Number 9, I had Frosty the Snowman. That's another one. A lot of these are going to be animated and kind of claymation type. I feel like I watched a lot of those as a kid. Another classic, some good songs in there. Number 8, I had The Santa Claus, like you said, with Tim Allen. I feel like that's kind of our generation. That's kind of a classic for us. Maybe not for our parents, but you know. Number 7, I had The Polar Express. Music's really good. There's like the vibes of just being on the train are cool. Like Matt said, the animation's very strange, but you know. Number was that number
I think
6 right now?
6 now,
6,
right?
yeah. Number 6, I have. This might be a little low, but The Grinch. With Jim Carrey. I know there's multiple Grinch movies. There's the animated one, and then there was another animated one that came out recently. But I'm talking about the live action. Another classic that we grew up watching. Very fond memories of it. Jim Carrey's great. Yeah.
All right. It's a good list. We had a couple in common there, but
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So, number 5 for me, I have Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. 1 and 2 are both very good. I always
Yeah.
preferred 1 to this, but I just it's still a classic, still has the same cast as that original, has the Donald Trump cameo.
Yeah.
That discussing film always whenever something happens with
Happens with
Trump,
him. They always be like Home Alone 2 actor Donald Trump.
yeah,
Whatever.
whatever he did,
He
but,
did, yeah.
um, yeah, it's fun, just him being lost in New York, and
Yeah.
New
The New
York
York
during
setting is cool,
yeah,
yeah.
New York setting is cool. I feel like New York during Christmas is just a different kinda
Yeah.
vibe than anywhere else during
Like that
Christmas.
movie kinda well, I mean, no, that's actually not true. The Miracle on 34th Street. Like New York is kind of like a famous Christmas spot in movies. I feel like
Yeah, Elf as well,
Elf. Oh yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah,
but yeah, alright.
I actually for 5 I had Home Alone 2 as well. I was debating between this and the first, but just kind of it being set in New York City, just kind of get a little brownie points for me. You know, great Christmas vibes. The FAO Schwartz scene is like a big one that stands out to me when he goes to the store. Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Alright, cool. Hold on, I feel like I have to burp. Ugh, excuse me, there it is. Alright, sorry.
All good.
I didn't wanna burp mid-sentence, I just wanted to get it out, but alright, number 4, very recent movie, The Holdovers. This is one that we're gonna talk about, and
Yeah,
honestly, I think this is the best movie on the whole list, but it's not as much of a Christmas classic as the others.
not yet.
Not yet, but it has the potential to be.
Yeah, yeah,
So, I won't say too much about it because 'cause we're gonna talk about it later,
yeah.
but I'll just leave it at that. That's my number 4.
Number 4, I actually had The Year Without a Santa Claus, um, which is have big memories of it as a kid. I remember also on Christmas Eve going to watch it at Nanny's house. She used to put it on in the like
Yeah.
when she was cooking and stuff, and you get the Snow Miser and Heat Miser, all the good songs over there. Another classic.
Mhm. Alright. For my top 3, I think these last 3 are sort of the Christmas essentials.
Yeah,
So, number 3, I have the original Home Alone. Just such a classic Christmas movie. A lot of people's favorite Christmas movie. It's very funny, gets all the best things about the Christmas season in it. Um, a lot to do about family, things like that.
Yeah.
And it's also really funny. You know, you have these 2 burglars that constantly get caught in these booby traps, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a classic, so
Yeah. Um, so for number 3 for me, I actually had Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Another one that was, I feel like, a big part of any kid's Christmas growing up. Obviously where the song is from, but honestly, a lot of these are for I'm not the biggest Christmas person, so these are just going off like childhood,
mhm,
my memories of it.
yeah. Alright,
That's not a
number
bad pick though, honestly.
no,
It's
no, it's
okay,
not,
yeah.
it's not. The only reason why I didn't include, like, that and I didn't include Frosty, because 'cause I'm pretty sure those are, like, 15 minutes long or something.
What? Really?
Yeah.
The Year
Isn't
Without a
too
Santa Claus? There's no way.
Let me look it up really quick. Frosty Frosty the Snowman is 25 minutes long.
Damn.
Let me see
Why do I feel like I remember it being like a movie?
Year Without a Santa Claus is 51. That counts.
Okay,
That
yeah.
definitely counts. And
I guess we were
Rudolph
kids. Rudolph is that I feel like has to be a movie.
Rudolph is 52. Okay.
Okay. What's the Year
So
Without a Santa Claus? Let me look
51.
it up. But what's let me see. I don't know
What do you
why
mean?
Frosty being 20 minutes is like blowing my mind.
I mean, they're not like technically they're feature length, but they're very short.
Yeah. No,
Either
I
way,
mean,
it still
yeah,
counts. But
yeah,
all right, what am I at? Number 2?
yeah,
All right, number 2 I have How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 2000, the Jim Carrey one. I'm pretty sure we had an episode where we talked
yeah.
about it.
We did talk about it.
It's hysterical. I
Yeah,
love Jim Carrey's performance in that role. It's one of his most famous performances, and it's just very funny. There's a lot of jokes in it for adults, so revisiting it, when we talked about it, I had a great time watching it. I like how weird the world is and how
Whoville
there's
and
all yeah, Whoville, and there's
yeah,
sort of like this weird world building stuff with how everything works, and just again, another one that I remember from my childhood. Could be a lot of people's favorite Christmas,
yeah.
but yeah.
Um, so for 2 for me, we're on 2 now, right?
Yeah.
And Elf, which we spoke about previously. Another one gets brownie points for me 'cause it's in New York, but just such a great kind of feel good Christmas movie. So many funny moments, even stuff that you laugh as a kid. I found funny now with you know. Uh the scene that resonates with me is when he goes to the mall with the Santa Claus and starts screaming and freak. That used to crack me up when I was a kid. But there's a lot of moments like that in this movie.
Yeah. Um, so my number 1 Christmas movie of all time is Elf.
Yeah,
So it's Will Ferrell's best performance, I
yeah,
think, and just the idea of a person being raised thinking that they're an elf and then dropping them off in the real world is a very funny
funny.
concept,
Yeah,
and seeing how he interacts with all of these real world things like, the revolving doors and the escalator
yeah. The world's
and
best coffee.
yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
I like the little, like, I guess world building stuff where it's like elves love sweets, so he puts syrup in all of his stuff. He
Stuff.
loves
He's
soda.
he's the gum off the benches.
Yeah, just lots of funny scenes,
Yeah.
and I feel like I've probably watched this every year on Christmas
Yeah,
since we were
probably.
little. This is one that we definitely always watched with because our dad loves this one too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, when I think Christmas movies, I think Elf.
Yeah.
So
Um, so yeah, for number me, I mean, number 1 for me is actually The Holdovers. So that may be kind of controversial because it's such a new movie, but again, I'm not the biggest Christmas person, so this when I think of Christmas, I kind of start to think about this movie now. And it's honestly the like you said, the best movie probably on this list, and it's just very relatable for me. It's about kid being in an all boys Catholic school and like kind of stuff he deals with there. It's kind of relatable for me at the time when I was in high school. But I don't know. It's just a really really good movie, very well written, and Christmas is an essential part of it too. We're gonna talk about it obviously now,
yeah,
but
yeah, I respect you for putting it at number 1. I didn't. Yeah,
no,
I
it's
said
fit.
it's the
Yeah,
best, but I just wanted to have more of like the classics up higher on
yeah.
the list. You might get shit on TikTok
I
for that
know,
one, but
but it's gonna age like wine
yep,
in a couple of years.
yep. So, all right, I
Yeah,
guess
but
now we
I feel
could
like not a lot of people have seen this.
I mean, the hell was that?
I don't know. I heard that too, actually.
Sorry about that. I think
No, you're
that
good.
was the Alexa.
No. But
Okay.
yeah, I
Anyways,
feel like none of my friends have seen this. Not like I don't know. But it's so good.
yeah. I mean, it only came out last year, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it becomes a classic because it is so good. But I guess
Yeah.
yeah, that transitions us. We could. Yeah, I don't know if you want to pull up the
Yeah,
synopsis for it.
I'll read the synopsis.
So the
Oh,
yeah, no, I
sorry.
just
So the
want to the
holdovers.
holdovers. Yeah,
A Crumjian. What is it?
curmudgeonly.
Curmudgeonly instructor at a New England prep school is forced to remain on campus during Christmas break to babysit the handful of students with nowhere to go. Eventually, he forms an unlikely bond with one of them, a damaged, brainy troublemaker, and his school's head cook, who has lost a son in Vietnam. Um, so I know this doesn't sound like a super Christmassy movie at first glance, but it's really about just watching these people's like relationships develop over the course of the week and people's past traumas and stuff like that. And it's just so well made. It's shot in like that kind of I don't know the term for it, but that grainy feel on the what is that
I don't. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the term is. I think it's just shot on film, I
on
guess. But
yeah, but it just looks very aesthetically nice and the setting of like Christmas time in Massachusetts. The music's really good. There's so much like really good about this movie. There's not a lot wrong with it.
yeah, I think one of the first shots of the movies, it's just like a river flowing with like a house covered in snow, and it's so white, and you just hear like this little like guitar melody playing,
Yeah,
and it's just like you're in for a banger. You
yeah,
know, it just
yeah,
looks so great. It sounds beautiful.
yeah.
It's I
It's
don't know.
yeah, it's
But I guess yeah, just to give a more simplistic, I guess, synopsis. It's basically so at this boarding school, um, during Christmas time, there's certain kids that don't go home for whatever reason. Maybe they don't have their parents or their parents are away or whatnot. So they stay at the boarding school. And every year a teacher gets assigned to stay with them. And this year it's like this professor that's kind of a dick. He doesn't really he has a hard time, I guess, relating with people. He's not very friendly. And it's sort of about him, learning more about these students that he's with. Eventually it ends up becoming this one student who is Angus, I think is his name. Yeah, Angus
uh
Tully.
yeah, totally.
And it's a lot about, don't judge a book by its cover. It's sort of these characters discovering why they might act a certain way, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think one of the better scenes in the movie is when, Angus and, Paul, Professor Hunnam, are they're in a hotel, and then Angus drops this bottle of pills, and it's this medication for depression. And then
Oh
Paul looks
yeah.
in his suitcase and he has the same one. So it's like, all right, maybe the reason why this kid is lashing out is because, he has like issues with his mental
Issues
health.
going on, yeah.
And I think a lot of the movie has to do with mental health, really, when you like break it down.
Yeah.
His father visiting, I guess
Because I
this
feel
kind
like
of,
all of them are kind of going through their own type of, so Miss Lamb, I think her name is the cook, Mary
yeah,
Lamb. So he recently lost her son in the Vietnam War, and she also talks about how she lost her husband as well. And then obviously Tully is dealing with just like his parents not really giving a shit about him, and his dad, everything going on with his dad. And I
yeah,
feel like for Paul Hunnam's cat, like he kind of doesn't feel fulfilled in his life. He sees everyone kind of around him that was going to Harvard, doing all these things, and he's teaching at a boarding high school.
yeah. It's the high school that he went to. So he
Yeah,
never,
he never really.
it's revealed
Yeah,
eventually that he never even graduated from college and
yeah.
he
So he's
wants
just been
to,
teaching
you
as
know,
a favor, basically for. Well, they're doing a favor for him by letting him teach there.
yeah,
Um,
and it is interesting because this whole time he acts so matter of fact and like he loves his life and he loves the school and he's proud of like what his life is. But then when he finally gets confronted by one of his former classmates, he completely lies.
yeah,
And, it just shows that he actually isn't fulfilled. And there are things with his life that he's ashamed of. So,
yeah,
he obviously has issues with alcohol that they go through a little bit
yeah,
in the movie. It's not that he's like
Yeah.
hammered all the time, but it's implied a little bit that he drinks
He's
throughout
a
the day
pretty
because
frequent drinker, yeah.
yeah, one of the students says, "Oh, you could smell it on him."
Yeah.
I thought that the dialogue between the students was very believable.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was very well written.
It
It
honestly
felt
sounded
like
like how, like, people at Farrell talk, look.
yeah, which that's your high school, yeah, for
Yeah.
those of you
For those who don't know, it's an all boys, like, not a prep school, but similar to how this school is. Um, but yeah,
yeah,
just that kind of banter between the students and, like, the way they interact with each other. Dominic Sisa, I think, is the actor for Tully. Like, the way he, like, is able he's fantastic in this. And it's crazy, this is his first acting role ever. Like, it's
yeah, I
insane.
think he kinda just showed up to
Did he go to, like, a film school or
I don't wanna I'm pretty sure I read this, that he just kinda, like they were filming at a school, and he
Yeah,
just kinda, like I think he went to the school that they were filming at, and he just auditioned,
crazy.
like, randomly.
Yeah, he's in that.
He's, like, incredible in
Yeah,
this.
he's so, like, the way he's, like, lies and stuff like that and able to manipulate people in the movie is just really, really well done.
Yeah, and the way that he sort of, like, physically acts too, and,
Yeah,
the scene where he chucks the brownie across
the
the
kitchen.
the kitchen, the scene where
Yeah,
he breaks his arm, and he's, like, holding his arm, flailing and
yeah,
crying and
yeah.
stuff.
Very physical
Just
performer.
yeah, really good and
Yeah,
very impressive for someone with no experience.
yeah. He's got a couple things lined up now, which is exciting.
Yeah, he's gonna play, what's,
Anthony Bourdain,
Bourdain.
which
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Anthony Bourdain, so I'm very excited about that.
He's gonna be in
Um,
Now You See Me
Now You See
3.
Me, and then some movie called Oh What Fun with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, I saw that, and then a movie called Toe. Um,
What's that about?
so he's got, like, 3, 4 movies lined up, which after this, pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
it's pretty good.
I
Yeah,
saw him in a commercial recently.
really?
Yeah, I forget. It might have been for, like, Uber Eats or something,
That
but
seems like
that
something he would do.
that was kind of
Is he
interesting.
American or is he just like? Oh yeah, he is. He is American.
Yeah. Um, Let me see. Yeah, so I guess to talk about my favorite scene, I really like the scene where he goes to visit his dad,
Yeah, I was gonna.
and it's before this happens, it's him he tells, Angus tells Mr. Hunnam that his dad is dead, and he doesn't really say much about it, he just says his dad is dead. So, when they go to Boston, he kinda tries to sneak off to go see his dad, and then Mr. Hunnam's like, "Alright, well, sure, we could go to a cemetery, all you have to do is ask." But it turns out his dad is actually in, like, a mental institution, just
Yeah.
completely not there. I don't know if you know much about, like, mental conditions, Joe, because I know you're
Um.
obviously a nurse, but I don't know
Yeah. It
if you know
seemed
much.
like he had like some type of stroke or something like that, and it just affected the way that he like functions. They don't really say what happened, right? They just say,
No, they just he just says, "My dad was fine, he was great," but then all of a sudden, he started acting a little strange, and then it just, got worse and
if
worse.
yeah, I
That's
feel
what
like
Angus
he.
said,
It
but
looked like he had a just the way he's like walking and presents himself. It looked like he had a stroke, and it just like he's not able to function. That's the way I took it, but
yeah. So, Angus goes to see his dad, and he's sorta like, "Oh, hey, dad," he's telling him all this stuff about himself and saying like, "Oh, by the way, I have all great grades, I have the best grades in the class, and, oh, I started playing tennis," or was it tennis? I forget. He says, like, something like that.
something like that. Yeah.
Just, like, basically wanting his dad to be proud of him for what he's doing, and after he gives this whole spiel, his dad leans in and is like, "I have to tell you something. I think they're putting something in my food," and it just shows that he's so far gone
Yeah, and it
that
and
mentally he may as well just have been dead.
yeah.
Like, it's not the same person that he knew because he doesn't give a fuck. His dad doesn't care at all about what he just said. He just is in
You
his
could
head
see
is,
it's like it breaks him as a character. Like he's like destroyed in that scene.
yeah, when it cuts back to his face,
Yeah.
you could kinda it's him realizing his dad is gone, but getting, I guess, that closure. And just the facial acting of Dominic Sessa is incredible.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, it's just so impressive by someone so young and so
Yeah,
inexperienced
it's
as
good
an
acting,
actor.
yeah.
But yeah, I that was my favorite scene in the movie. It probably, like, was the most moving, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
I really like the Christmas party, just that whole there's a great shot of him finding a snow globe at the Christmas party and looking through it, shaking it.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you have a favorite scene?
Honestly, that was my favorite scene, but I mean, the another good scene is the scene with when the cook is like at the party and she's like kind of grieving her son. That was like another really scene that I like that they all kind of come together to calm her down.
Yeah.
That
And
was
also
another good scene.
when they leave
Yeah,
and
when they leave and he has that like interaction.
when Paul sorta is, doing his usual thing and sort of putting down Angus
Yeah,
and saying like, "Oh, I you think I wanna be here with you? Like, I'm forced to watch you because 'cause you're holding over." And then even being drunk, um, Miss Lamb still has enough, like,
in her to
courtesy
like
to
to
go to Paul
discipline him.
and be like, "You don't tell someone that was left by his family, a boy,
Yeah,
that no one wants to be with him at Christmas, and you're dying to cut him loose." It just yeah, it's just like these characters sort of balancing each other out. I
yeah,
think
or
it's
checking each other into place.
yeah, very
Because
well done.
he doesn't have a son, obviously, and I'm sure like he doesn't understand in that scene how much he's at. I don't know. It's good like just character development.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti is fantastic. He's
Yeah.
really, really good as Paul Hanna. There's another scene at that Christmas party that's really good, which is where he's sort of getting all
Oh,
this
with
attention from Miss
the
Crane, who's like this other teacher, and I think she like kisses him on the cheek. So he's getting all this attention. I guess he's getting his hopes up a little bit, and then it shows her sort of greet her husband, and his face instantly
yeah
just kind of like sinks because he's so alone. He
yeah
tells himself that he enjoys being alone, but you could tell that he actually doesn't, and it's just a way to cope. He hadn't left that
yeah.
school since he was a kid. So, that's why I also really like the ending, where it is there's this hopefulness to it where, yes, Mr. Hunnam gets fired,
But
but
he's
that
gonna
allows
go
him
and
to, leave the school and
yeah.
do what he wants to do now. So
But yeah.
and it
Um,
shows a lot in his character, though, development, that
yeah.
he takes the blame at the end, which
And
obviously is something that he
and
wouldn't
he's like
normally
able to
do.
actually leave the school,
Yeah.
you know. But
Mhm.
but yeah. Um I don't know if you want to get to ratings. Well, actually no, favorite character.
It's really hard for me, but
Yeah.
I I think I'll go with Angus because he's the most relatable to me,
Yeah.
and I think he had the best performance in the film, and it's crazy to say that because there's
Well,
2
yeah, two
Oscar nominated,
one was an
1
Oscar winning
Oscar yeah,
performance.
so Sessa got snubbed a little bit there, but obviously it's,
Yeah.
he I think he coulda got a little nod for supporting, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
Did he
think
get
Angus.
nominated or no?
No, he didn't.
We looked it up, right? Why like who else was in that year?
Yeah, it was, Ryan Gosling, um, the guy from what's it called? Robert Downey Jr. won, then Mark Ruffalo, and fucking the guy from American Fiction, Sterling K. Brown, and, like, one other.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, it's whatever. I
Yeah.
still love his performance, so it doesn't matter if he
No,
was
yeah.
nominated or not. But
I have to agree with you though with Tully being my favorite character just because I feel like he's the most relatable, at least to us and maybe to the audience, but I don't know, especially with him like the Catholic school kind of all boys, the way they like bicker and banter with each other, it was very relatable.
yeah, definitely. But
So,
alright, we could get to ratings, I
yeah,
guess.
so on first watch, I actually watched this on a plane, which is crazy. The first time I watched this, but first watch I gave it a 4.5. This time watching, I ended up giving it a 5, just because like there isn't really much like wrong with the movie. It's just very well written. It's funny. It hits all the emotional beats that it's supposed to. It's shot very well. It's set like in a nice setting. The music's like I can go on and on about it, but there's not really anything wrong with it in my opinion. So in that, and for me to give a movie 5 stars, I have to think, all right, like what's something that I didn't like about the movie? And in this case, there really isn't much. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. Last year when I watched this film, I gave it a 4.5 stars, but on the rewatch, I bumped it up to a 5 star,
Yeah,
and that's very rare for me. I don't give films 5 stars too often, but there really just is nothing in my eyes wrong with this film.
yeah,
Just from the ambiance of it, the setting, the visuals, how it's shot, the music, and then you get into the actual story, how these characters work, the performances by the actors. 2 Oscar-nominated performances, 1
yeah,
Oscar-winning performance, 1 probably snub,
yeah.
um, but,
All
you
career
know, it's
best
just
though, in my
yeah,
opinion. Yeah,
definitely, and it's just a movie that made me feel good, you know? I wrote this in my letterbox review, but watching this movie felt like having sitting down and having a cup of hot cocoa during the holidays. It's just it has that feel to it,
yeah,
and I think that's why it will eventually go down as one of, the greatest Christmas movies ever made, hopefully, if people go see it,
yeah.
but yeah.
Did it make money when it came out?
I don't really think so,
No.
honestly, but it wasn't
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't shot for anything crazy.
yeah. I don't think the budget was that crazy,
Yeah. I
but
wonder what, the girl in it who won the Oscar, like, if she's in anything coming up, because she was I mean, obviously, Paul and the other guy I talked about a lot, but she was also very good as well. I mean, she won the Oscar, but
apparently she's in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
what?
She plays
Hmm,
Mama Luna. Was that the cat?
I
Oh, no,
think
no,
that's like
she's the
the
cat lady, right?
oh, I think so.
She was in
That's funny.
Rustin from last year, I remember that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That was the one Coleman Domingo got nominated
Yeah,
for. I'm sure she has some stuff
let me
coming up.
see. Bride Hard? That's like the next thing she's in.
Bride Hard,
Battle
Rebel
Force?
Wilson. Yeah, it doesn't look that great. Whatever, I'm
Mark
sure she'll
Strong's in this.
she's now
Wow.
an Oscar-winning actress, so I'm
Yeah, she's
sure
gonna get
she'll,
work now, yeah.
yeah. But
But yeah.
anyways, alright, so I guess now we could before we wrap up the episode, we'll move on to the Q&A. We got a couple good questions here. So first up, so this is from at sophia.k.ua on Instagram. She asks, in your opinion, which genre of film had the best movies in 2024? It's a great question.
2024? I gotta look, hold on.
Let me look at my list. I do think it was a great year for horror. There was a lot of great horror films this year, but
A lot of
I
sinkers too.
I honestly think it might be sci-fi
Yeah, I was gonna say,
because we
because
have Dune Part
Dune
2,
Dune Part 2, The Substance.
The Substance. I would say I would put A Different Man into that category. I would put
Mm,
Civil War into that category.
is
I Saw the TV
sci-fi?
Glow.
Yeah, I saw TV Go, definitely.
It's science fiction. I mean, the science of A Different Man is like you could get the surgery to make your face.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I would definitely count that as sci-fi.
Furiosa, sci-fi.
Yeah. Kinds of Kindness. I feel like
That's yeah, I guess
wait,
sci-fi.
yeah, because like, bringing the people back to
Back,
life
yeah.
part.
Um,
Deadpool and Wolverine, I guess.
yeah, but no, that's not like one of the better ones.
I my mind goes instantly to sci-fi
Sci-fi,
slash and then, like, maybe horror under that. I don't
yeah.
know. What do you think, Joe? You agree with me on that?
Yeah, honest I'm looking at the top. Yeah, because 1 and 2 for me are The Substance and Dune Part 2, and those are both sci-fi.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
that's a
sci-fi
great
it is.
question.
It
Yeah,
is a good question, thank you. Yeah, thanks for
thank you
asking.
for the question. Alright, let me pull up because that one was sent in a DM. The rest are on my they were from the story poll, so let me pull that up really quick. Okay, here we go. So we got a couple more. This is from at Ryan Grimm on Instagram, and he says, "If you had to make a DC villain solo movie, what villain are you choosing? And you can't pick the Joker."
Uh,
I feel like my mind instantly goes to Batman villains, so
yeah.
I'm trying to
I'm
like
trying to
think
go
of
away from Batman villains, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, if I had to pick a Batman villain, I feel like Deathstroke is a really compelling character, and he hasn't
yeah.
really got a live action counterpart yet. And
Deathstroke would be
he's like
cool.
someone that like there's enough like source material with him that he could warrant his own kind of movie, you know?
Yeah, let me look up DC villains really quick.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Let's
low
see.
key, I was like, Honestly,
Yeah,
bro, like looking at the ranking, like most of them are Batman villains.
yeah, most are Batman villains. I feel like
I mean,
a scare
Lobo, I guess, because that's technically a villain.
I think a Scarecrow movie would be really cool, sorta like a
Yeah,
horror Scarecrow movie.
yeah.
Um, but maybe to move away from that, I would
Like to
like to
do it
see
not a yeah. Let's pick not a Batman one. That's kind of
Oh, I have a good one, Black Adam. How about that? That would be
well, he's an
great.
anti-hero actually. The
Oh,
Rock
okay,
doesn't
okay.
play villains.
No, you know what would be cool though? Reverse Flash. Sorta
Yeah, I was
his
thinking.
origin where
Yeah,
you sort of, um what's the word? Am I an idiot?
what?
You,
Because he doesn't. He
you like
grows up like loving the Flash, right? Because he's from the future.
Yeah, if you had, like, framing him as the hero of the story and the Flash as
The
sort of
villain.
the villain in his story, I feel like that could be very
That'd be
interesting.
really interesting. Yeah.
Like, a reverse Flash movie set in the DCU that comes out before the Flash, so you get this backstory of this character, that would be really
Yeah,
cool.
because Loki actually that's not a bad idea. Because his whole thing is that he's from the future, and the Flash is like a hero. He's like a one of the best heroes ever, like in his world.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you could kind of learn the whole origin of the Flash. Basically, have the entire Flash story basically told.
That is a good idea, honestly,
Yeah,
because also the Flash movie just came out,
yeah,
so
yeah.
people probably have a bad taste in their mouth from
But
it.
also, I feel like I don't know how that would like reverse Flash. That's gonna sound like weird.
Yeah, yeah. To the
Um.
average moviegoer, yeah.
All right. I guess for me, I guess Brainiac is another one that comes to mind.
Yeah,
He's
Brainiac
an
would be cool.
yeah. Bizarro, I also really liked as a character, but I don't think he's strong enough for like a
His own
his own thing. Lobo,
yeah.
Red Hood is another one. The role like the
The whole
rogues,
Batman rogues gallery could get their own movies,
yeah,
honestly.
or the Flash rogues. Honestly, like
Yeah.
they have like that group. It's like the
Yeah.
Weather Wizard, Mirror, like all them.
Captain Cold and
Kept it cold.
but
Also, like a Atrocitus, the Red Lantern, and Dexstar, that like little cat, fucking
yeah, I
Red
was thinking
Lantern.
Sinestro could be cool.
Sinestro, yeah.
Maybe, like, a movie about him when he's a Green
In the Green
Lantern,
Lantern Corps, yeah. I
and
wondered
then his turn to fear. That
to
could be
fear,
cool.
yeah. I want like for the TV show. I'm assuming that he's already a Yellow Lantern because like Hal Jordan's already he's an older Green Lantern, and they
Yeah,
have
he's
John Stewart
maybe
already.
maybe he'll mention about, "Oh, I used to have a mentor that
Yeah,
turned evil," or something. But
that like
alright.
also yeah. I could I know we're big comic people. We could do this all day, so we gotta move on.
Yeah. So this one's from at ChandlerMandler22 on Instagram,
Cool
and he
name.
asked, "Do you think the image looks terrible for the live action Moana?"
I mean, honestly, no. I feel like it looks fine.
I
We
think it
haven't
looks
got like
okay.
actual. Yeah, it looks like. I actually like that they do the suit though, because he's supposed to be like a demigod and like bigger. He's supposed to be unhumanly big, so it makes sense that they do the
Yeah, The
suit.
Rock is already massive as it is,
Yeah,
but
I'm
he's
surprised he did it. Honestly, I feel like he'd be the type of person to like not do the suit.
yeah, and he's wearing the hair and shit too, which is cool.
Yeah,
But yeah, from like watching Moana 2 recently, like Maui is his proportions aren't that of like a human.
yeah,
He's bigger than any human. So,
yeah,
yeah, it makes sense that they got him in a muscle suit. I think it looks okay. We'll see. See how
yeah.
it looks.
It's very
But
first
yeah, thank you for the
image.
question
The
though.
hook set.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Thanks for the question. So
yeah.
this one's from Eric Thorpe Reviews on Instagram, and he asks, "Why are we getting a live action Moana before a live action Frozen?" That that's a
That's a
great
good
question,
question.
and I feel like I have that same question because Frozen was huge. It's even before Moana was a thing, and it still is huge.
Maybe they want to give because there's I don't know. I was gonna say oh because they're still telling the animated story because they're doing Frozen 3 and 4, but they just made Moana 2, so I don't know. I mean, I know it's on Broadway. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, it will happen.
Do you think they bring Adina Menzel to do it? Do you think they bring a live action cast?
No, they would
Yeah.
cast someone. They would do like Anya Taylor-Joy or something. They'd cast someone.
Does she sing? I feel like she would learn to sing though, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know
she's
if I've
done
seen
like
her
she
sing.
did
Oh, no, no,
five
didn't she
pieces.
sing in Last Night in Soho? Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, I don't.
She did, yeah, she had that
She
song in
plays a
Last Night in
singer.
Soho.
She does play a singer, but I don't know if she actually sings.
No, she did. She had a
She
song, I
did?
remember, it was actually pretty good. Honestly, yeah, that's actually a great choice, but
For who, Elsa or Anna?
Elsa,
Who would be Anna?
Jared Leto. It's always my go-to. No,
Honestly, they could do Ariana Grande.
eh,
They really wanted to.
Anna Kendrick
I feel like
from
she's too
Pitch
old.
Perfect.
Not that she's
Maybe.
old, but like you know how they cast younger for these things.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But, yeah, to answer your question,
yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
not really sure. I feel like it might have something to do with The Rock being involved and just the pull that he has.
Yeah, he just signed
S
a contract with them, right? I'm 90% sure that's going to be on the horizon
Yeah,
because
definitely.
that's like you know
That's probably if also, How to Train Your Dragon and Moana live action, those are the first 2 3D animated films being brought to live
live
action.
action. Yeah.
So, if those are successful, there's gonna be a ton more, and you could bet that Frozen will be one of them. So,
Oh
don't you
yeah.
worry, Mr.
Don't worry,
Eric
you're gonna be
Thorpe
getting your Disney
Reviews.
schlop.
You'll get it. Alright. Now, that's really it. That's it for the questions. So, I
Yeah.
guess, Joe, you recommend your list, and then I'll recommend my movie for the next episode, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. So I was contemplating doing two lists, but I want this list this week. I wanted to do our top 10 actors slash actresses that have never won an Oscar but have been nominated. So I feel like there's a lot, because there's a decent amount that have.
Yeah. I'm
So
already thinking of a couple coming straight
yeah,
to my brain right now. But
yeah,
alright,
we'll
yeah, that's a
see.
good
Yeah,
idea. Good list.
yeah,
Alright, so for my movie, the next episode will release around Christmas time, and we just did a Christmas movie, but I wanted to recommend another one that's a little different. So I'm gonna recommend the movie Black Christmas from 1974. I've never seen it,
mm,
but I know it's supposed to be like a horror classic,
yeah.
and it's different enough from the last Christmas movie we did that I think it's
No,
worthy
yeah.
of
That's
being
I've always wanted to
recommended.
watch that actually. So
Yeah. So, we'll see how it compares to Terrifier 3, the most recent Christmas slasher. But,
did people know that was a horror movie when that came out, or was like just advertised as a Christmas movie?
I mean, I would assume it was advertised as a horror because it seems like a low budget kinda slasher sort of thing, so
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
really know. I'll look up the trailer.
Yeah.
But, alright, anyways, thank you everyone for listening to episode 62. Episode
Yeah.
63 is gonna have a lot. We're gonna talk about A Complete Unknown on it, which
Yeah.
me and Joe
We
already
act
saw.
Yeah, which was cool that we got to see it early.
Yeah, we recorded our review already, but the embargo doesn't lift for another 2 days, so we'll put it in that
We'll put it out
episode.
next week when the
Um,
embargo lifts.
yeah, once the embargo lifts, we'll post it, but we also have, I think, Sonic, right? Sonic
Sonic
3,
3,
Lion King,
Mufasa,
and Craven.
and
Low-key Craven comes
Craven,
out next week.
and oh wait, are we gonna? Is it gonna be? No, there's more low key. I think there's like a bunch coming out. Hold on.
Whatever, we'll post about it, but it'll be a jam-packed
Oh,
episode,
and no,
so
wait, dude, no, Nosferatu.
no, the Christmas releases are in the one after,
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay, never mind.
because 'cause we'll record the Sunday before Christmas for the next episode.
Okay, so we'll do. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, so alright, but anyways, thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah,
If you're
thank you
still
guys for
here,
listening.
we really appreciate you. If you're listening
Yeah,
on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please rate us 5 stars. Really helps the algorithm in pushing our show
yeah.
forward. And make sure to follow us on our social medias. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X.
Twitter,
Join our
whatever.
Discord if you want. We post some of our movie news like during the week
Follow
that
us
we're
on
going to talk about.
Letterboxd.
Follow our letterbox. Send us money if you want.
Yeah,
Whatever you guys
any
want to do.
sponsors? You know.
Yeah, send them our way. So,
Yeah,
thanks everyone for listening.
yeah.
Enjoy your holiday season, and we'll see you
And
in 2 weeks.
peace.